Hi everybody, this is Clarine from In Rainy's room. Today we're going to be making a waterfall card. Now this one is going to be for Easter, and the front of it says Bunny Kisses and Easter Wishes. Then you open it up inside, a little place for a sentiment over here, and this is your waterfall. And you pull the bottom, and each of those little pictures just comes on up. You can see all the rabbits, and you push it back down. Pretty cute. I fell in love with these rabbits. I had to do something with them. Then you just fold it up, here's the back, and you slide it into an envelope, and off it goes. Okay, so let's just get started. Now I did a little bit of prep work beforehand, but basically I'm going to give you each of the measurements as we go along. This is going to be for the base of your card, and I used Kraft paper, so it's a little heavier. So if you use Kraft paper, you have to make sure that you do your scoring really strong, because it's real thick. So you're going to need a piece that is 7 by 10 1/4, and then you're going to score it at 5 and 5 1/4, and that gives you your spine. And like I said, give it an extra little pressure there so that your spine works real well. Alright, so put that there. And then we're also going to, out of the same paper, this is the little slider mechanism that holds your pictures, whichever you choose to do. And you're going to cut one of these. It's 12 inches by 2 1/2. And then you're going to turn it over, and you're going to score. These are 1/2 inch scores in between. So you start at 2 1/2, 3, 3 1/2, 4, 4 1/2, 5, and 5 1/2. We're going to set that to the side for just a little bit. Go ahead and burnish those down. You can fold them all in one direction for right now. It's important that that has a nice sharp fold. You'll see why in a little bit. So I'll just fold those down. I like Kraft paper, but you just got to give it some extra attention. And then there's the last one. I'm going to set this to the side for just a little bit, and we're going to go ahead and put the base together. To do that, you're going to have 2 green pieces. I chose green, whatever backing you choose. You're going to cut 2 of them. They're 6 3/4 by 4 3/4. And I'm just going to go ahead and attach one to the front here. Now I use my easy runner because it's nice and thick. It's good sticking power too. I like that. So I'm just going to center that on here. Oops, let me go this way so I can see all my edges. There we go. And almost. Yeah, that looks good. And I'll just burnish that. The second piece goes on the inside. This is where your waterfall is going to be. So let's put that down. And I just get this easy runner at Amazon. They also have refills. It's a lot stronger than the little tape runners, which have their place too. There's always some project that needs something a little different. So put that down there in the center. Now on top of those, I made some background papers. So these are going to be, you'll be cutting 2. And they're going to be 6 1/2 by 4 1/2. And I got these from Etsy. They have Oh, they were all background, and the kit was called Very Pear, I think, something like that. Veriepear. Not sure how to pronounce it. And I stuck this guy together, which I think is going to be okay because it's going to go face down anyway. So I'm just going to take this. Put that in the middle. Oops, have the flowers going up. Watch whatever paper you use. If it's a directional thing, make sure you get them going the right way. That goes there. And then the other one's going to go inside. I also beforehand went ahead and colored the edges. I used these little Cali markers. I think it blends in your colors better, gives a nicer finish, and I just run them along the edge. But I did that ahead of time, save a little bit of camera time. And let me go ahead and put this down. And that goes right in the center. I love building layers. That's another reason why I like this project. There we go. Okay, now on the front, I have a sentiment that I made up, so whatever you choose, this is the front sentiment, and it measures 4 by 6. So you'll cut out whatever size you use. Behind it, I cut out a piece of chipboard. This is medium-sized chipboard. You could use pop-ups. You could use the long 3M tape. I like this because it makes it nice and sturdy. I'm going to attach it on the back here, and that way the edges don't droop or anything like that. I get a nice support underneath my picture. And these bunnies, I think, are just darling. I got those also at an Etsy shop, and it was called Nessa Design Company. And there was, oh my gosh, a couple dozen different rabbits to choose between. So I had a good time there. Put that there. Oops. And then this I'm just going to center right like that. So I'll put the tape on my chipboard. And the whole card, this waterfall card, I watched the video that Sam Calcutt made. She's with Mixed Up Kraft. And a friend had asked me if I could make a waterfall card. I said, oh, sure. So I really started looking. And one of my first stops is always Sam, because she has a lot of fun videos. And there you have it. Isn't that cute? I just love these colors too. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to put this glider together. It's going to sit inside here like that. And then you're going to be putting your pictures inside of these little half-inch squares that you made. Now to do that, we're going to cut. We're going to cut 6 of these, whatever panel you choose, and I chose the color that matches my border around the design paper. And you're going to cut 6 of those at 3 1/8 by 3 1/8. And I went ahead and cut those ahead of time. On top of those is where you're going to be putting your little pictures. And I designed these little rabbits to go inside there, and that part of it measures 2 3/4 by 2 3/4, and again you'll do 6 of those. I'll put those over here. So I went ahead and attached mine earlier, just using the tape runner behind it. Now I'm going to switch to glue, because we want to attach these onto each layer, and they count them and make sure you have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And these are going to lay right up against that fold, the scored line that you made. You want to center the green, I'm calling it green, whatever background you choose. This is my background. I want to center it on this slider. So I'm going to put my glue just in that first 1/2. I'm not going all the way up to the fold. I'm putting the glue about 3/4 of the way up, because when you put this on here, and before you press it down, kind of center it and make sure that your edges are equal on each side of that slider. And you want to be able to see that edge so you don't cover it up. Got a little extra glue there. Let me get him off. See how I can see it's about a 1/16 of an inch. You have to be able to see that. Don't cover it up. Just like that. And let me scooch this over to the right a little. Make sure I get that, because this is your base. Everything else is going to depend on here. So this looks pretty equal to that. It's about 1/4 of an inch. All right, so I can see my fold. So I'm going to put that down and burnish it real good. Don't scrape off your picture. Put that down there. Maybe it'd be better just to use your fingers. Okay, so that one is there. Then you're going to come down to the next 1/2 of an inch. Just roll that a little bit as you go, and you'll do the same thing. I don't have any specific order for my little rabbits because they're all so cute. I just stuck them on there. Now I'm going to stick them on here. Notice I left a little space at the top so that I can see that top rung. And I'm going to lay this on there, lining up my sides. Gosh, that's pretty dang close. See how I could about a 1/16 of that glider is showing, and my edges are the same. So I'm going to lay that right down like that. Put some pressure on it. Flip it up. Roll the next one. Whoops. Roll the next one down. Put a little bit of pressure under here. Get that to stay stuck. And then I'll do the others all the same. Making sure that your edges are lining up on both sides. And there's that little 1/16, so that looks good to me. Put that down. If a little bit of glue gushes out, don't worry about it. It does dry clear. And I'm going to go ahead and press that down. See how nice and straight those edges are? That's going to be important. Alright, so I'll bring the next one down. And put the glue on. I was really kind of amazed. I don't know who comes up with these crazy ideas, but how clever. How clever. And I was amazed at how simple it's really going together if you take the time and be patient to line up your edges and your top piece there. There's a little glue sticking out, but I'm just smishing it around. Then I'll come over here. the sides. There's my like a 16th at the top. Smoosh it down. Then roll this other guy. That's going to be the last one. And I'll go into here and here's the last one. Lay that right on the sides. And I'm just using standard weight cardstock for these solid pieces. Nothing special. All right, and that's the last one. Okay, and just fold the whole thing over. Oh my gosh, isn't that cool? Look at that. Love it. Okay, this is going to go centered on the inside of your card. Now I also cut out a little pull tab, and this little pull tab measures 2 5/8 by 1/2 inch. And I'm going to glue that right down here on the bottom. So let me do that first. Come on, turn over. Okay. And I'm just setting it on the bottom. Press it down. Oops, look on the other side. It has a little bit sticking out, so I'm just going to trim off just a tiny bit. And I'll do the same thing over here. There we go. Now the last, almost the last piece you're going to cut out is the little guide piece. And this little guide piece is 1 inch by 4 inches. It's cut out of the same Kraft paper that I used before. And this little guy does all the magic. What you're going to do is you're going to attach it to this bottom part of your glide. Not the colored part, but just this last piece here. And you're going to glue it on the bottom. To do that, make sure that you have it equal on each side too. So I'm going to put the glue on the back here of the glider, and I'm going down about 3/4 of an inch because this is 1 inch wide, and this will be enough to hold it in place. And I'll just stick this in the middle. That's looking good. See how you just go right to the edge. And then let me just double check it. See if that looks equal. If you want to measure it, you sure can, but I just like to eyeball stuff. Nobody looks at things like they have ruler eyes, so close is good. All right, so that's just going to hold it in place, believe it or not. And then this whole thing is going to get glued in this position, but just right here is where the glue is going to hold it. So again, you turn this upside down and you put the glue not all the way up here, but just like 3/4 of the way up on these 2 tabs. And they're the ones that hold this big waterfall in place. Don't go inside here, just go in about 3/4. Give it enough glue there. And then you're going to fold it. And before you press down on those two sides, make sure you have this in the center. So you're looking at the top and at the bottom. I'll bring this down just a touch. Like that. I can barely see my pattern, but I think that'll make it even. Yeah. And then it's off to the right too much, so I'm going to scoot it over because see, this tab is too close to the edge. So I'm going to bring this back over here before I put down any pressure. And that looks like it's about 1/4 inch on each side. Looks good at the top. Looks good on that side. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to press those two tabs down. Just give them a couple minutes here so that they adhere. While that's drying for just a second, I also cut out a little sentiment that's going to go over on the side right here. I'm thinking I might make the next one a little bit bigger because it seems a little small, but we'll see. Anyway, this little sentiment is 3 by 2. Put that over here, and I'll glue that down. Now, I'm not using pop-ups or anything because I don't want to interfere with that waterfall. Just put this in about there. Looks good. Okay, well, let's see how this is going over here. Ta-da! Here we go. There's your card. You open it up and you pull down, and each of those little pieces comes up. You can see each picture. How fun is that? I can't believe it. It was so simple. When I first looked at it, I thought, oh my gosh, we'll never be able to do that. And there you have it. Then you just fold it in half. And there's your bunny kisses and Easter wishes. I love it. Okay, thank you so much for stopping by today.